was one. So, as a Darwin doubter, I started planning to do the work myself. Though I had to be willing to be proved wrong, my strong hunch was that the results of this work would reverse the stream of scientific consensus. The stream's flow had been reversed before, so I figured it could be reversed again. I knew there were risks, but my motive for proceeding was too strong to be ignored. The troubling contradiction between what the voice of scientific consensus was telling me and what the voice of my own intuition was telling me, the conflict within, had to be resolved. That's exactly what I set out to do. I have something even bigger in mind for this book, though. Here, I hope to resolve the same conflict for you. It exists in all of us to some degree. We share it to the extent we share the intuition that life can't be an accident. And for all of us, understanding is what eliminates the contradiction. Technical understanding can be overwhelming for many of us, though. So, while I will offer glimpses of what I consider to be the decisive technical science, I won't turn this into a science lecture. Instead, common science will be the thread that holds everything together. To prepare us for that, let's start with an experiment performed in the kitchen rather than in the lab. Starting with soup. A team of researchers in the culinary sciences recently discovered a revolutionary new soup they call oracle soup, referring to the oracles, mysterious revelations, the ancient Greeks sought from their gods. Indeed, had this soup been known in the days of Homer, it surely would have been attributed to a powerful god. It looks just like alphabet soup, thin broth with little pasta letters and numbers swirling around. But this soup of the gods distinguishes itself by what it does, as this experimental recipe shows. 1. Fill a large pot with oracle soup. 2. Cover the pot and bring the soup to a boil. 3. Remove the pot from the heat and let the soup cool. 4. Lift the lid to reveal complete instructions for building something new and useful worthy of a patent, all spelled out in pasta letters. 5. Repeat from step 2 as often as desired. You don't believe a word of this, of course, and that's precisely my point. This was actually a storytelling experiment instead of a kitchen experiment. You are my experimental subject, sorry about that, but now I want you to examine the result. What did you observe? Well, in the space of a moment or two, you decided with complete confidence that oracle soup can't be real, you and everyone else who reads the account. Interestingly, though, despite our collective certainty on this matter, most of us struggle to explain how we know oracle soup can't be real. Our explanations tend to be nothing more than restatements of our conviction that soup simply can't do such things. Children are content with these assurances, but adults surely ought to be able to do better. What makes us so sure oracle soup isn't real then? To ask a related question, how would we make sense of oracle soup if it were real? If we reflect on that for a moment, I think we would agree that no ordinary explanation would seem adequate for something so extraordinary. But if this is true, how can the evolutionary explanation of life not provoke that same skepticism? According to Darwin, each form of life owes its existence to a long succession of accidents, small mistakes of the kind that just happen from time to time. Anyone desiring a more lofty view of life can attribute those accidents to God if they wish, but Darwin's point, defended by evolutionary biologists to this day, is that no one has to do so. However skillfully the brush of natural selection appears to have picked hues from the palette of genetic mutations and applied them to the canvas of life, there's no need to think a personal hand ever guided that brush. We might just as well believe God guides each raindrop as it falls to the ground. The fact is, raindrops form and fall in accordance with certain well-known laws of physics, so nothing about rain ought to make anyone uncomfortable with leaving it at that. Rain happens. Life happens. Rain comes from clouds, whereas life